Hello Capricorn friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Capricorn September 2023 mini scope. I'm going to hit the highlights of the things that you need to know for this month and beyond. This is for you if Capricorn is your sun sign, your moon sign like me, your rising sign, or any other Cap placement that you're listening for. What we're going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Cap friend, so birthdays like January 15th through the rest of the sign, or placements 23 degrees of Cap through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Aquarius reports, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. I'm going to go around the chart, hit some highlights about some long-term planets that are definitely affecting you for a very long time, and the shorter-term planets that will blow through really quickly, but will be very potent. First thing that I see is that Pluto is dipping back into Capricorn. We knew since 2008, Pluto has been dancing through Capricorn, blowing up systems, just like doing its Plutonian thing and really revolutionizing everything having to do with Capricorn-based projects, which really is the system, the structure. It's the skeletal system of the body, and it's the skeletal system of society. So this has been going on, and this has been of special significance for people with Cap placements. I know for myself, right, there with you. Still, I've got Pluto sitting on my moon because I have a very late degree moon, and it's truly life transforming. Like there really aren't words to describe the level of transformation that you may have gone through over this cycle. So we're dipping back here. If you're a very late degree Cap, you are going to be feeling that hardcore. If you are an earlier degree Cap, you would have had your hazing before, but it's still giving us opportunities to shore up old systems, whether it's your physical skeletal system or whether it's the systems that run your day, your home, your life, your work, your relationships. We're redoing all of that, and you're taking the things that work and you're moving on from the things that don't. As it's still dancing close enough to Aquarius and will be representing an Aquarius, even though it's in Cap right now, it's close enough to Aquarius that it's never losing its influence there. You're going to have opportunities to bring revolution through technology, through AI, through community-based projects. And that is going to, be what goes on for the next decades for all of us. And specifically for Caps, this is highlighting your money sector. If you are a traditional Cap who's made your money in the same way for 30 years, it's time for you to get up on the new way of doing things. You can keep that old skeletal structure like we talked about to be your nice solid base, but it's time for you to explore how these technological advancements can help you with your money, can help you with your crops. This second house that it's moving through also has to do with, your sustainability, and it's really time to look to the future, take the things from the past and look to the future to get the balance of both. Next thing that I notice is that Saturn, recently in Pisces, recently in your third house. We've got a 3-year transit here, 2023 through 2026. Saturn, talk about structure, really, Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn is your ruler. So these energies I was talking about, Pluto blowing up, is really what Saturn is trying to do, is building. Saturn is a master builder, and it's trying to bring your intuition and bridge it with your logic. It's trying to bring your dreams and bridge it with your day-to-day life. It's trying to bring just basically this beautiful bridge between everything seen and unseen, everything logical and, emotional. And it's just helping you to be overall a more well-rounded person, and a person that listens to spirit, can respond to spirit just as readily as your physical instinct that you have, that you might call logic, which all turns out to be the same thing, which is intuition. So you've got a lot of opportunities there, and specifically for Capricorn, this is in your energy of expression. So speaking, writing, communicating with others, expressing things to other people that you've always wanted to express. Sometimes when someone gets in a bad predicament, or if the topic of death comes up, people have an opportunity to say things that they've never been able to say or really think need to be said. You don't have to wait for that possibility. This is a time over these years, and that you're feeling it very strongly now, where you can give a voice to some of those matters of your heart and not have to wait for there to be any trouble in order to do that. If you want to be a writer, if you want to write or create something, this is amazing energy for that. So you could be writing your books during this time. You could be, writing your speeches. You could be just basically taking, again, those emotions, those ideas, that creativity, and putting it into form. That's the theme of Saturn. Next thing that I notice is we've got Jupiter expanding your 5th house. And this is pretty exciting. So from May 2023 through May 2024, Jupiter, the great expander, the great benefic it's called, is giving you a chance to expand your childlike wonder. Basically, not childishness, but childlikeness, where, you know, you look at life through the eyes of a child. And let's face it, as Capricorns, as I always talk about, because I know with you, it's not easy. It's not easy to have to be the one holding things together. It's not easy to have to be the glue, you know, and the one that everyone relies on. It's, you know, it can be very difficult and very heavy. So through this year, May through May, you've got this amazing opportunity to have more fun, to have less responsibility, either through delegation or just fine tuning and discernment. And you can expand energies having to do with children, spend more time with your kids. If you're wanting to have a child, this can be a time where this happens. Hobbies, bucket list stuff, all of that can be beautifully enhanced. So this may be a month that you take action on that. The next thing I notice, and these are some shorter term transits now, it just happens to be that in the order of your chart, some of those long-term ones were really coming up in the earlier parts of the chart. So as we progress through the chart, we see we've got a lot of Leo energy still. Usually we don't have a lot of Leo energy at this time, but because Venus has been retrograde for so long, we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but it's in Venus. Venus is in Leo longer, and star goddess Juno is also there. So this energy of harmony, you know, relationships is in the sign of fun that's being accentuated by Jupiter in the long term. Okay, so the house that Jupiter is going through is the house of Leo. The sign that Venus and Juno are currently in is Leo. So you've got multiple layers of this fun and excitement and fiery connection and romance. And I also forgot to mention that this is the energy of true love. So whether if you're with your person, you might find that you have new romantic possibilities open up where things get better. And if you haven't met your person, you might find some clarity moving along the path of drawing in your perfect partner. So that energy is really revving up. And for Caps, Leo highlights the 8th house, which is the house of Scorpio. And this has to do with deep emotional relationships. Everybody in the cosmos has a lot of energy of relationship coming up now because we are back in eclipse season. So those 2 eclipses we have in October 14th, we've got a solar eclipse at 21 degrees of Libra. October 28th, we have a full moon Taurus eclipse at 5 degrees. That's going to trine your placement. We'll talk about that more in October. It's a wonderful boost for Caps. You might be getting that news and those insights and that information even in August, but definitely September, because 4 to 6 weeks before the actual eclipses, we've got eclipse season. So radical change is occurring. A big wrap up from the end of 2021 is, you know, coming to fruition and conclusion. This is in a good angle for you. And there's a continuation of this Aries Libra eclipse cycle that started in April. And so we're following through with me, we energy, and my stuff and your stuff energy, and deep relationships. So this 8th house that's being accentuated by Leo energies now is also being accentuated by the ending of this just eclipse cycle that's been so powerful. So, you know, look for changes having to do with your money versus other people's money, spousal money, government money, borrowed money, debts, taxes. If you need a loan, maybe it'll come through now. If you have to pay off debt, maybe it'll come through now. If you've been avoiding your debt, you might have to pay the piper. So this is all just kind of coming up to be dealt with. But because the Leo energy is there, it can really bring creative solutions. And the more that you look to creative solutions, and kicked back here, what I was talking about with Pluto in the opposing house of Taurus, you know, there could be some technological answers to the problems that you're having right now. And, you know, the more you look for that, the more you're likely to find it. Next thing is we've got the Sun, Mercury, and star goddess Pallas Athena moving through Virgo. These energies trine your sign, so that's the most favorable angle in all of astrology. This brings opportunities for focus and discipline and tedious work, getting paperwork done and annoying things that you have to do, tending to health things, going to schedule your checkups. And if you have to do things like that, unless you have something pressing or your intuition tells you otherwise, you might have more luck with scheduling like towards the end of September into October, because, Mercury is retrograde until September 14th, and it'll take a couple of weeks to regulate. And so, you might find yourself rescheduling a lot if you schedule too much, especially in the first several weeks of September. But it is a time to start to think about getting your blood work, getting your, your health things, getting your wellness on track, getting your stress management on track. Okay, so the next thing is that these Virgo placements light up your 9th house of Sagittarius, and that has to do with teaching, education, learning. Whether it's you as the teacher or you as the learner, you may find a perfect education program, or you may have a chance to have your own platform or show up in different ways to be a mentor. Capricorns make really great mentors, and you may have opportunities to do that in a way that's really fulfilling and international. So this is, probably pointing towards online or opportunities in different countries. This can also have to do with studying languages or travel to a distant land. Very exciting. I'm a Sagittarius, so I always get excited when we talk about things like that. So next thing that I see here is Mars has moved into Libra recently. Wherever Mars is, it's like an obsessive border collie. And so you're going to find yourself obsessed on focusing on relationships, partnering up, really just trying to bond with people in ways that are synergistic. This is a really good theme for this time. And of course, the eclipse is also in the energy of Libra, and we're feeling the pre-echo of the eclipse in October here in September. So, there are very important storylines of new relationship possibilities, endings of relationships, beginnings of relationships, endings and beginnings of chapters, and just basically things having to do with you trying to figure out how your work and career and employment can be helped by binding together with other people. Because for you as a Cap, Libra energies highlight your 10th house of Capricorn, which has to do with work and career. And if you're someone for whom making money doesn't matter, this 10th house is still your passion projects, your volunteer projects, your things where you're showing up for others in the world, out in the world, with your creative efforts or whatever other gifts you have, regardless of whether you're earning money from them or not. So you may have some new opportunities to partner with people, and that can be very exciting. So let's blow through these dates here, and do know that when you sign up for my newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, I'll give you even more dates to note, my favorite aspects of the month, the ones to watch, the sweet and salty dates, etc. So you can sign up there, but I'm going to give you a couple of dates now. September 3rd, Venus goes direct. Venus ruling love, beauty, money, relationships, design may have put to a halt certain things in those areas, made things a little sluggish, made things a little not clear. So as September rolls on through October 7th, when the post-shadow period is finished, you might find you have new clarity, renewed vigor, or more certainty about parting ways or going deeper in with somebody and information about your finances. We do have Jupiter going retrograde September 4th, so as certain things are racing forward with September bringing Venus and Mercury direct, Jupiter is going to dial some things back. So things that you've been expanding might start to get a little bit cooled off. Don't be worried about this. In December, you'll start to see these things moving ahead. You might need the break, because sometimes we need a break from expansion, or you might need to integrate the changes that have come from the previous expansion. So if you see certain things just like, whoa, all of a sudden cooling off, it may be that Jupiter is ruling that. September 15th, Mercury goes direct. Things are a little more haywire in the days around it going direct. And then the post-shadow period lasts till September 30th. You'll have an easier time scheduling things and seeing more than one step ahead the closer you get to the end of the month. September 14th, new moon at 21 degrees of Virgo. This is a fellow Earth sign. This is going to bring opportunities with the kind of things we talked about before: health, wellness, pets, animals, structure, your daily routine. And those of you who are between 16 and 26 degrees, you'll get a big kiss, even more of a big kiss from this Virgo new moon. So that's basically like January 6th through January 16th, and the closer to around January 11th, the bigger smooch you get. But don't worry, if you're not in that zone, you're not left out of the goodies. And for all you know, if you don't know your chart, you may have other placements that connect in with that. That's why it's always good to try to run a free birth chart and get to know your chart better. September 29th, we've got that full moon in Aries at 6 degrees, fullness, completion, fruition, possibly drama, coming to your house of home and family. or maybe it's just a beautiful family time and experience that you have. It is in a tight angle, so it does show that there's some pressure there, possibly, but it could be pressure to finish a project or pressure because company's coming. It could be a good type of pressure, but just be on the lookout and maybe save a little bit of space around that day in case something comes up to deal with. If you love how I teach and you want to learn, and you have burning astrology questions that you have nobody to ask and it's stopping you as an independent learner from progressing, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, sign up for my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. Even if you don't want to do it professionally, you're just an independent learner and want to help yourself and your family and friends, you will find all the resources that you need within my very comprehensive course to be able to move forward in your learning. And if you want to do it professionally, I'm definitely your girl for that. And if you want more free stuff from me, go to anniehelpsyou.com. Both of these links are in the space underneath the video or podcast as well. And at anniehelpsyou.com, you can sign up for my free email newsletter, which you can get all of the free education and all of the links to the current aspects and things to make the most of the month. And you can also see where my written horoscopes are and my secret star portal and other goodies there. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.